Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is finally Friday, February 21st, and welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie. Our very special guest today is an actor, writer, and model, and this is his very first time here in the dollhouse. Please forgive me for my tardiness. I had to go and upload to the talk show page, which I want you guys to please go and follow. Please go and follow Style by Stevie Daytime on FB if you have not. Also, make sure you guys head on over and subscribe to Style by Stevie Daytime on YouTube if you have not. And I see you guys have been heading over and subscribing. So I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you all. Hi, brother. Shout outs to my brother who is the host of the K2 Spot. And we just recently did a show together not too long ago this year alone, kicking off my new season 19. And season 19 has been a blast, y'all. I am having such a damn good time. But our very special guest today is an actor, writer, and model. And I want you guys also to head on over and subscribe to my brother, K Tooks. He is the host of the K Tooks Spot. Did y'all hear the news? Did y'all hear the news? Beyonce is going to be dropping Sacred in Ulta April 6th. So her hair products will be in chain Ulta beauty stores. So make sure you guys please go and check it out. We need to be supporting black owned businesses, and supporting black owned businesses, there will be a blackout, an economic blackout. Save and preserve your black dollars. I'll touch more a little bit about that later, but let me go on ahead and share this live with my very special guest today so that we can get him in here and get some conversation going, Fashion Dolls. I need you guys also share the word, spread the live that we are on, Fashion Dolls. Let everybody know that we're on, that we are ready, and I'm looking forward to today's convo. Hi, Ina. Yesterday I had award-winning actor Ina Haraldson on the show yesterday. Great conversation. As you guys can see, I went back to blonde. I wanted to go back to blonde. Yesterday I had black hair, but today I got blonde. I miss my blonde, y'all. I miss my blonde. It's been a minute. But I'm looking forward to today's show with today's very special guest and just seeing his mindset, everything. I'm looking forward to it today. I'm waiting on Brendan so that we can get right into it. And without further ado, please welcome Brandon Hartsfield, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dollhouse.
Hello, Gary. I don't listen. Let me go ahead and preface this right now. I am like one of those millennials who are like not tech savvy at all.
We're gonna work with you, boo. All you got to do is turn it this way. How I'm sitting, sit it upright. You got it. Yeah, you flipped it
There
there.
it is. Wait, I just had it. It won't stop
Upright,
auto
so
turning on
everybody
me.
can see you.
Yeah,
Yes.
it won't stop auto turning on me. Let me see if I can hold on. I got this. We'll make this work. We'll make it won't beat me. Give me 1 second.
And while Brandon is getting it together, Fashion Dolls, I want you guys to please make sure you guys go and share the live. Let everybody know that we
There
are
it
live
is.
in full effect. There we are.
There
Now we
we
can see your
are.
beautiful face. How
Hello.
are you, my love?
I have been looking so forward to this. I am so excited. If I could just get it right, I swear.
Take your time. We understand because I have tech issues too. My camera flips sometimes, and you guys can see what's on the other side other than focusing on me. But now we can see you. We can see you. We're focused on you, my love. So,
Fantastic.
welcome to the dollhouse, handsome. How are you?
Thank you. I am well. How about yourself?
I am doing wonderful. How has 2025 been for you so far?
You know what, CB? 2025, and I'm so excited. I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. 2025 has been so awesome to me so far, and that doesn't necessarily mean that I've gotten my way throughout the entire year so far. I've definitely gotten some no's and things like that, but
Yeah.
I have learned to start being very grateful for my small wins. And when I have started to kind of start doing that and being grateful for my small wins, I've noticed that a lot of big wins have started coming my way.
Yes.
So 2025 has been very, very kind to me so far.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And you've got some projects coming up, which we'll get into, but I had to ask. So, as I do with all my guests, I like to start from the beginning. I know you act, you model, you write, You do so many things in your career, but tell us, who is Brandon Hartsfield? Where he grew up and how many siblings?
Okay, so really funny. So Brandon Hartsfield, I am 34. I come from a military background. My mother did 21 years in the armed forces, which is why I was born in
Salute.
Germany. Yes, yes, 21 years in the army there. Oh, that's she's a hell of a woman. So I have a older brother. Well, I actually have two older brothers and an older sister. My older brother Jeff is with my mother, so me and him share the same mom and dad. And then I have an older sister named Nikki and Ernest, who is from my father, whose also name is Ernest. Um, who am I? It's really interesting when someone asks me this question because they're at 34 years of age. I don't even think I really know exactly who I am. Like who like there's you I find new things about myself every day and it makes me go, "Brandon, is this part of you or is this just like a phase that you're going through?"
Right.
Um very into sports, athleticism. I love to stay active. I'm an outdoorsy type of person. I know sometimes it doesn't seem like that, but I promise I'm not as prissy as I come off. um Phew. Let's see. In school for communication and organizational management, I'm very serious about education. I feel like
Yes.
you should, if you can, and if it interests you, you should continue to further your education. Knowledge is one thing that no one can ever take away from you. So that's gonna always be yours.
Absolutely. And we're now witnessing everything being dismantled as far as education. This is very, very important. And I touched on this with my guest yesterday, Ener, who is starring in a film that is about going back in history and the war. And I
Mhm.
said it's important that we preserve our history for this country. It's important that we preserve education in this country as well too. So
All
shout
of
outs to you and
the
salute to
history.
your
We
mom.
preserve all of the history of this country,
Absolutely.
not just what some folks want to put forward and bury the rest. No, we need to preserve all of the history of this country.
No, no doubt, absolutely, no doubt. You can't you cannot erase what our forefathers
Absolutely.
and what this country was built on, and it's black people. It's built on the backs of black people. So when you
Absolutely.
try to erase our history or diminish us, you can't. It's impossible
Hmm.
because the White House literally was built by our ancestors.
Absolutely.
So you can't erase. And what we're seeing right now is a dismantling with this administration of taking away, stripping away. We're gonna not observe this. When next month is Women's History Month, and that's a holiday as well too. That's a
Absolutely.
month.
Hmm.
Black History Month is almost at the end of the month. I mean, next week will be the 28th. We only have 28 days in this
Hmm.
month, but next month is Women's History Month. Then
Which I'm
next it'll
looking
be
forward to
Pride.
too.
And so what else are you going to dismantle? What else are you going to take
It's
away? What
scary,
other
isn't it?
holidays?
It's very
Very scary.
it's actually really scary when you sit back and you think about where we're at and what people are attempting to execute. It gets quite scary. And it's okay, and for someone who's not able to admit, like, if you're not terrified by it, then it makes me question where your views lie, because this is scary. This is a very scary time that we're in. Me and my mom were talking a couple of weeks ago, and she said it in a comedic manner, but she was very much so serious. And she was just like, "Hey, Brandon, make sure your passport is renewed, just in case the U.S. is somewhere where, hey, we might not, maybe I might need to be looking at another country. I don't know. We don't know. We're in those type of times where is the U.S.'s door still going to be open to me? And that's a scary question because I am a U.S. citizen. I was born a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
Um, but the way that things are going, it's almost as if once this largest deportation in history is along or is far along in its way. What next? Like you said, who's next on the chopping block? Um, it- you know, again, is are people going to be welcome here anymore longer? Like, it's just questions that go through your mind that you thought you
Right.
never really would have ever had to think about. And those are things that you have to entertain now, and it is scary.
It is, but here's the bright part. They're fearful of us. They're fearful of black people. They're fearful of us, which is why you're seeing the attacks of rollbacks of Black history and commemorating Black History Month and celebrating it. And the key word, what is the key word? Three little letters: DEI, fashion dolls. That has been their constant attack. So this is the thing right here. We have to make sure that as we're seeing other ethnicities out here protesting and on the front lines for us, we didn't vote for this. This is what they wanted. And I
Hmm.
seen a podcast. She did a podcast where she says, "Black people rest. We have fought for decades to have our rights, and now our rights are being stripped away from us."
Yes.
Now, it's one thing if you could take away a holiday, but that's still not going to stop people from celebrating that holiday. We're still going to commemorate Black History Month. As you guys been seeing, which I'm going to give you at the end of the show, a Black History Month fact,
Hmm.
and we're going to get into some Black History Month trivia with Brandon here.
Okay.
But it is definitely some scary times that we're living in. I feel bad for my Haitian brothers and sisters, our Haitian brothers and sisters, because now they have started attacking them
Hmm.
by rescinding back immigration policies,
Immigration
giving them
policies.
their green cards. And we're seeing that. That information is in my stories I've been posting. So it seems like information overload, but we need to also be mindful and protect our peace. And Laverne Cox, she said this as well too.
Oh,
Tune out
Laverne.
sometimes if you have to, because right now, how fascism moves, we're
Hmm.
seeing it move
Yeah.
swiftly with them
Yes.
shutting down organization, laying off
Yes.
federal workers, laying off TSA. Today, TSA workers were laid off. So,
Which
I
is
mean, you're going to
asinine
see
to
this.
me. I can't even wrap my mind around what you just said. TSA workers laid off. What? Like what? What?
The nuclear workers as well too, the ones who have the nuclear codes, and then you had to rescind that and put
Mm,
them back in place after you realize, okay, I messed up.
mm,
So you're going to see a lot of that within the next few given months, give or take.
mm.
Now next month, I had a conversation with someone earlier about the spending bill,
Okay.
a government shutdown.
Mm,
Now you want people and their children and their families to starve. So
yeah.
that's where we're at right now. We are on the abyss of something that we have never experienced before, and that is authoritarianism and white supremacy. And it is
Absolutely.
important that we continue to be vigilant as Black people and keep calling it out. Now, we've seen them scrub certain things off of the White House website, the Constitution, rights as far as trans people, rights as far as people who are not from this country, things that Biden put in place before he left being scrubbed and erased off of the White House
Hmm.
website. But guess what? If you need copies, your girl has copies. I have
Okay.
copies.
Okay.
So I have that information. And I also have the documents of January 6th as well too. So if you try to scrub that off of the website, I've got that as well
That
too. You can't erase
part.
it. It happened. We've seen it in real time. Where was I
And you're
when it
not gonna
happened? I was
gaslight
doing
us and make us seem like it didn't.
absolutely. And the Kennedy Center, how do you take control of the Kennedy Center, which is one of the most prestigious centers that celebrate and commemorate artists that have done things for the culture, that have been awarded medals, that have been able to perform, and now you're appointing yourself. And now Steve Bannon says, well, we're going to get the J6 insurrectionists to perform at the Kennedy Center.
So just to add insult to injury.
Right. And as Brandon just said, gaslight you
Yeah.
to make it seem like, well, this didn't really happen. And the $5,000 gimmick that Elon Musk is trying to
Oh, is
offer,
it five?
uh,
I thought it was up to eight. I don't know these days.
5,000, what was it, $5,000, y'all? Correct me if I'm wrong. And then the government what is it? You get the buyout from the government
Uh-huh.
the layoffs of these federal workers. That didn't happen either. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all smoke
All and
and mirrors.
smoke and
I
mirrors.
want you to believe this, but it's
Oh,
not
the
actually
the
going to happen.
TikTok ban. Oh, the TikTok ban that lasted all of what, 6 hours?
Mhm.
And then our Savior and Grace came and got us up out of it. Now we have TikTok back. Come on now. Let's stop it.
And
But hey, I digress.
and the black speaking of holidays, the Black History Month celebration at the White House, and we're seeing a bunch of black conservatives there. Um, as much as you think that you're welcome, you're not welcome. They don't want
Oh,
anybody that's got a shade of brown in their
no,
skin in this country.
no.
And Stephen Miller said that we're going to start the denuclearization process. And what happened? He started deneutralizing people, deporting them out of this country.
Hmm.
Why is it that Marco Rubio wants to deport people who have committed crimes here in the United States of America to Guantanamo Bay, which is one of the most dangerous places in
Oh,
the world?
absolutely. That's one. I think that is the one of the out of the. I think there might be only three max military prisons in the world, and I think Guantanamo Bay is one of them. Yeah.
Mass deportations, mass incarcerations, and a football player that has retired was arrested for speaking out against this. Now, Rep. Robert Garcia was also threatened for critiquing Elon Musk. So now we're going after Democratic leaders. Cash Patel was confirmed yesterday. Is a timeline. I'm going through timeline because every day is something.
Hmm.
The goal is to flood the zone and make us so exhausted to the point where we just give up and we're defeated.
Yeah.
But guess what, black people? We are vigilant. We're not playing no games. And I'm pretty sure y'all have seen the video of these neo-white supremacist groups coming into Cincinnati and us, a group of us, chasing them right on up out of there.
As
They
we
ain't gonna
should.
mess with black people because they know we got a lot of pent up
Frustration.
energy in us. And that's
Yeah.
400 years of
Yeah.
frustration,
Yeah.
rightfully so. So I
Absolutely.
could clock somebody right now if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that.
No, we're gonna keep it because we're gonna keep it cute.
And very demure,
Eviction you.
very, yes. I'm going to be very demure, very, very
Absolutely.
cutesy over here because I want to clock somebody, but I can't. I'm in a position where
Yeah,
I
no, I was
can't.
gonna
So
say you're
all
in
I
a
can do is
position,
just, yeah.
and you know
All we
what
can do
though?
is,
That is also the I guess the other side of the coin because here it is, you you have this platform, you have viewers, you have people that come
mm,
and watch your show, you have people that interact with you on your platforms, you have people that want to hear what Stevie has to say. Um, and so with me being in the industry as well, on on the other end of it,
mhm,
um, I have people that invest in me as well, as far as they want to know what projects I'm linked to, they want to know what I'm doing next. These are things that are they're supportive and they're happy for me and they want to see me succeed. With that being said, me and I don't always see eye to eye with everyone,
right.
even the people that are a fan of what I do. And so it becomes a scary moment because you go, okay, do I sacrifice my likes and the trajectory of my career, and what is this casting director going to say if they know my political views, or what is this agent going to do
Right.
if they know that I didn't vote this way? And then you have the other side where it's like, hey, I have people that listen to or want to hear what I have to say, and I want to use this opportunity to voice my opinion. And that gets a little scary sometimes because I am what you would call a working class actor, and I think it's a really funny story. When someone, well, what's a working class actor? And I usually tell a funny joke about it. I go, well, working class actor typically means that my jobs are booked few in between, and my checks are missing a couple of zeros. But it's okay. But it's okay.
But at least you're
So
working. You're working. You're out here working and
absolutely,
using your platform.
that is and I'm glad you said that because that is the most important part to me at all is that at least I'm working. And that's why I referenced what I said earlier when we first started, is that I've started to become very grateful for even the small wins. um so yes, but then that leads to this point. It's like, okay, do I speak out on this issue? How many people are going to agree with me with this? Like, you don't ever struggle with that? With how many, like, are you going to lose viewers? Are you going to lose fans?
I have.
Like,
I have, and I've seen. I must say that this election has truly shown us who people truly are. And you're gonna lose some people along the way. They're not gonna agree with you politically, but I've had conversations on my platform. I just recently did a girl talk not too long ago. It was me and actress Nikki Brown, and
okay.
I let a guy come up on the panel, actor. He was an actor and comedian, just Damien D, and he came in and we were talking about Nelly, Snoop Dogg, Soldier Boy, all of these rappers who decided to
At the
perform at his
inauguration.
crypto ball.
Mm.
We touched on that, and he was like, we had a disagreement. He was like, let me interject. So Be able to have healthy discussions, but be able to also get your check at the end of the day. And I'm able to play both cards very right. So I've
Absolutely.
lost people, but I'm like, that's not putting no sweat off of my back because I'm out here advocating and being vocal for you. Hope Giselle even said it. T.S. Madison even said it. Madison don't let nothing bother her at all. Madison is the type to say what she got to say and pull no punches.
And punch
And
it right on along.
Craig too. Craig and Madison are they both do not care. And sometimes Angelica Ross is another one.
Hmm.
So sometimes it's going to take for us to be as the late 80 today's his 83rd birthday. John Lewis said, we have to be the good kind of
Hmm.
trouble. And it takes us having to make a disruption in this business because we have brown in our skin. We're black. And we know that we're not going to reap the benefits of our white counterparts.
No.
Now, DEI, their whole argument has been DEI, DEI, DEI. But guess what? DEI benefits white women also too. It benefits white people also too. Because how did Hegseth get this position as Secretary of Defense of the military? It should be DUI, not DEI. Because we saw what you had in that glass up there, Pete.
I'm done with you. See, I knew I was gonna come on here today and get me a couple cackles in. I knew. I was wondering when you was gonna reach in that bag and your bag of tricks and start.
I had to say it, y'all. Y'all asked, y'all wanted to know how do I felt about Hegseth. We saw the glass. It's there. It's
It's
evident.
there. You ain't hiding nothing.
We seen the photos. I mean,
This
DEI
ain't
has been his
AI.
whole
This is
attack.
not AI. This is you.
I mean, the photos of him disheveled, sweating with the bottle in his hand. We seen it. We
You
seen
seen
you
it.
up there at the podium. Your whole attack has been DEI, DEI. But your ass is an abuser, and you have a drinking problem.
Hmm.
So I mean, we can't avoid that. Let's talk about the obvious. This cabinet here is not like any other cabinet.
No,
This is like
I
anything we've
dare
never
not
seen
even say,
before.
is it really like, I don't even know, is it appropriate to even use the term cabinet? Like, is this what this is?
It's a clown
Because
car.
it's
It's a
it's
clown
it's
car.
it really honestly is. It's a crap show.
And I did see Elon Musk with the chainsaw, a mess. Elon Musk is 53 years old. JD Vance is 40. Donald Trump is 78, fixing to push 80. So this is definitely a dangerous cabinet. And you have Kash Patel, who's got confirmed yesterday, who's even more dangerous and who is also an election denier. So they want to have all of the power. Now they're trying to give this man a third term. So that's not out of the question. That's not on the table. You're supposed to only have 2 terms. Obama had 2 terms.
Exactly.
Trump should have two
Trump,
terms. You don't
and I
need to run more.
believe what he's saying that it should have been 2 terms. You're allowed 2 terms. Is it but they can't be consecutively. I think he's trying to what he's trying well what he's trying to do is become a dictator is what he's trying to do. He's not trying to leave office. But if push comes to shove, he wants it to be where if your 2 terms weren't concurrent, then you can go for a third term. Like, and it's never been that way and it should never be that way. And these laws were placed for a reason. Our Constitution, though it needs, we're in 2025, and it definitely needs to be amended. It's time for the Constitution to have to. We need to get together and reword some things in this. However, um, for him, for for him in his office to, I mean, almost just utterly disregard the Constitution is sickening. It really it should not settle with the American people at all. Um, I won't get too into how I feel about this because I can go down that rabbit hole and get very, very, very passionate about it. But there are people that I just do not understand. There are some people when they tell me, "Oh, I voted for this particular individual," I can go, like, I can see that, which is kind of sad. But there are some people that voted for this man where I'm just like, what? Like you realize that he is not your president, right? Like he's not the president for you, and you voted for him. I don't care what it is that he said he was going to do, because we do have to keep this very honest. He didn't lie throughout the well. He didn't lie much throughout this election. He did exactly what he said he was going to do, and now everyone is acting very shocked. When someone tells you who they are, believe them. The man said the largest deportation in history. Now everyone's throwing up their hands with their hands over their mouth. Oh my God, what is he doing? This man said what he was going to do, and you voted for him to ship your cousin right on off back across that water. That's what you did. But we're the type of people, we're in an age where we have to sit back and kind of just let it run its course. People
Absolutely.
are, this is one of those things where people are going to have to learn. There's a saying, a hard head makes a soft butt. We're in a
It
place.
was never about lowering grocery prices. It was never about lowering the price of eggs. Look where we are right now because eggs went up. His 25 to 50% tariffs and other countries, and I'm in a red state of South Carolina. Now we have to pay even higher prices, but luckily for me, I've been finding great deals. But
I'm in the red
another
state of
thing,
Florida. Ain't too
I've
far.
discussed it about the economic blackout on the 28th at the end of this month. Do not buy from Walmart, do not buy from Target, and it's a list of other stores
Hmm.
that have rolled back their policies. So this is how fascism starts. They want to tell you, okay, no, we're not going to have this here in our store. We're not going to have this here in our business. They want to infiltrate and tell you what you can read and what you cannot read,
Hmm.
which is why you're seeing them roll back on DEI, taking Black history. There's
Attacking
certain lessons.
the Department of
They said
Education.
certain, yes, JFK Library being closed down, two of them in Boston, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday. Uh, Rolling back saying you can teach certain lessons in
Uh-huh.
school, but we know what you mean by certain lessons.
Certain
You don't want
lessons.
people to learn about Black history. You don't want people to learn about women's history. You don't want people to learn about queer history. It's just white, straight, Christian, and male. That's how you want the world to
Which
be, and God didn't make it that way.
really, I'm really, I'm eager to see how that is going to work as far as trying to remove Black history, because AP exams have just, for I think maybe a couple of years, it was a pilot for Black History AP exams, and they have finally had it to where now Black History is an AP class that high school can take. It went through the pilot program, and that is a course now that they students in AP classes or AP enrolled are able to take. So how are they going to do that? Because that's now linked to college credits. So
Oh
how are
yeah,
they going to how are,
college classes, college Black graduations, that's another thing that they're attacking too. Historically Black colleges and university. If you let trans people do this, then we're going to defund you. So they're forcing people out. You're forcing people to do this. Oh, you don't need to welcome trans people here because if you do, then guess what? We're going to cut your
that
funding. So
is
they
so
are
sad.
doing things by force. And it is Elon Musk who is using his power and these incels, these four incels who have our data, our personal information, social security number, everything.
Everything.
It makes me very uneasy. And I was telling my mom about this. She said somebody is going to bring them down. So it literally will have to take them eating their own from the inside out for something to happen. Because think
Absolutely.
about the French Revolution, y'all. They talked to us about the French Revolution in school.
Uh-huh.
We have to literally have to wait for something to happen. He is messing up relationships with our allies in other
Oh
countries.
my God,
Ukraine
making us a
is not
joke.
our
Are
enemy.
we even considered a superpower anymore?
The
Are we
way
even considered a superpower anymore?
the way that things are going right now with him getting into it with President Zelensky, who is our ally, and you're putting Putin up on a pedestal,
Who ain't on a you're putting Russia's dictator up on a pedestal. What are you
but he's
see?
Putin's bitch. He's Elon's
Of
bitch.
course, they are
So when
working
Daddy
him to
says
they're playing that
jump,
man to the third.
he's Putin's little Trojan horse.
Yeah,
So when Putin or Elon tells him to jump, and we seen his little son in there, I want you to shush. We seen the baby tell you that.
we seen
So
it.
where
We seen it.
is he learning this from? He's learning it from his daddy. Elon is very nefarious and much nefarious, just as JD Vance is. Because y'all saw on stage with that debate with Tim Walz how fast he changed his stance on abortion. And January 6th, I'm worried about the future. No, JD, you are not worried about the future. You are an election denier, just like his Attorney General Pam Bondi, and just
Mhm.
like Kash Patel, who got confirmed yesterday. Homegirl couldn't even answer the question if he got if he lost the 2020 election or not. She would not answer that question. So you're going to see them do a lot of that on Fox News, One America News Network, or any other conservative out there. Piers Morgan, there's so many of them. So you're going to see a lot of them as you scroll down your feed. And make sure that you're not following anybody that you're not supposed to, too, because they made us automatically follow them. And I blocked immediately as soon as I saw it. From Melania all the way to him, all the way to
Don't
Vance.
worry about it.
So make sure you're doing
I
that.
will be going through my list today.
And RFK is also on the gram too. Make sure y'all block him as well too, because he's another nutcase that says the tap water turns children gay. And don't get me started on his conspiracy theories on trans people.
Oh my God. Well,
And yeah, it's going to get a whole lot worse these next few weeks. Now, Kash Patel is going to go after what he so-called anybody who has done him wrong, his political enemies.
Trump as well. You know, they have a whole hit list. They're just waiting to
He
get.
has
They
the
got a
enemies
whole.
list.
But I believe Trump had said that too, though. He said that he had people that he was coming for.
So
So
I'm pretty sure he's going to go after Hillary Clinton. I'm
of
pretty sure he's
course,
going to go after Obama. Obama gets under his skin.
no,
Obama gets under his
he ain't
skin
gonna
ever
never
since he
be able
mentioned
to
the
rope off
Proud
Obama
Society.
though. He ain't gonna never be able to rope off Obama. That ain't gonna ever hurt. That ain't gonna ever work.
So
It ain't gonna
so
work.
what Kamala Harris too? You're not going to be able to do her.
Yeah,
This
no,
woman just scored a deal with the talent agency, so she can make $1 million per speech whenever she goes and makes a speech. So y'all
absolutely.
thought that y'all was socking it to her. I voted for Kamala. Y'all think that y'all socking it to her and y'all socking it to black people, but y'all are socking it to your own people as well too. And now their people are crying, saying, "Black people, get your head out of your asses. Come in here and get in the fight." No, we don't move until it's our time to move. We
And so it's our
protect
time
our
to
own.
move. You know, when you just went like this just then, I already been looking at them, but it really just, when you went like this, I really got a good look at them lashes, and I'm not playing. You not playing. You not playing with any of us today.
Eh, Listen, this it's been needed to talk about. We as black people, I mean, we're seeing our rights being attacked. And then to the black men and the black Republicans out here that are thinking that he's going to do something for you,
He,
from my city of South Carolina, Tim Scott, you still out here buck dancing. Byron Donalds, you're another one. And don't get me started on Candace Owens, ladies and gentlemen. I have
you know what?
so many thoughts on her, don't we, Deshaun?
It is. I I don't even know where to even. First of all, I don't even know how to say this without being. I. The only word that comes to my mind when I think of one of us casting that vote for Trump is nincompoop, and that's about as polite as I can put it. You know,
Complicit, and you're
that is
complicit.
about as
You are hurting your own people.
you like, literally, like, nincompoop is the only thing that comes to my mind. Like, clearly your neurons are not are firing off correctly. Like, there's got to be a disconnect somewhere. There's got to be a disconnect somewhere. Or what about the people that are, um, let's just throw it out there. I'm working on fences right now, so let's just go ahead and throw out sanitation workers since
OSHA.
Troy.
That's another thing they want to attack. I went to beauty school. I went to cosmetology. They taught us about OSHA. OSHA is not just for the hair salon and the barbershops. That's the restaurants. That's the
Yes,
stores who distribute the
that's
products as well to
warehouse
make sure that
workers.
everything.
OSHA is, oh, yeah, absolutely. OSHA is in the thick of it. But let's just go ahead and use sanitation workers for example. Because like I said, I'm working on fences, and that's Troy Maxon's career. So we'll just throw out sanitation worker. Now I could be wrong, but I don't know a sanitation worker yet. I have not met one yet that's pulling in $300,000-$400,000 a year. I haven't. If there is, please, y'all have my handle. Write me and be like, hey, I'm a sanitation worker. I make $300,000 $400,000 a year, and I will put my foot right back in my mouth. But until then, I have not met one, which means that you being a sanitation worker, voting for Donald Trump, you're not in the right tax bracket, boo, for him to be your president. He don't care for you. You're not in the right tax bracket. You're not pulling in enough for him. And that's what I keep trying to get people to understand is that you're listening to what this man is saying, but are you hearing him or are you listening? There's a difference between listening and hearing somebody. I can hear you all day and not be able to remember a word you said to me if I was not listening.
And
So,
the sad part is, Brandon, that they will vote for it
of
again. They will vote
course they
for it
will.
again. And I've seen people sat out in protest saying I didn't have a better option. Well, I regret my vote, and now we're seeing them starting to regret their vote. Bias, remorse, much?
Yeah.
You're starting to
Well,
regret your vote. They're saying I
it's
shouldn't vote at all. Well, still, that's still a vote for him.
it's the same thing when Obama ran his first election, and it boils down to this: they did not vote for Donald Trump. They voted against Kamala Harris. That's what it was. You didn't vote for Donald Trump. You voted against Kamala Harris. That
To
is what
punish
it was.
her.
They
Yeah.
could have put anybody up against her, and she still would not have gotten that vote because she's a black woman. And there are people in this world that just cannot fathom it. It's already, you put one of us in the White House one time before, but now you have the audacity to try to put a woman in there? What? Yeah, they didn't vote for Donald Trump. They voted against Kamala Harris. And that's the country that's the state of the country that we live in currently. It's sad, but that's the reality of it.
And now his numbers, his likability or favorability numbers have dropped. He doesn't care about
You
that.
know,
He doesn't care
yeah,
about that. He's
he
gonna
did
keep
just what he
going
wanted to
lower and
do.
lower and lower and lower and lower. He is now using the White House for his golf business. He's barely in the White House. He's playing golf.
Well, that's the president they wanted. That's what they wanted, Stevie.
And then y'all want Kamala, y'all are calling Kamala, telling her, do something, ma'am. But ma'am, why don't you? No, the time for y'all to do something was November 5th and early voting. That was the time for y'all to come together and do something.
Because
But
she was
instead,
trying.
y'all wanted to sock it to the libs. Y'all wanted to sock it to the libs. Y'all wanted
Hmm.
to hurt black people, but not in return while we're suffering with you. We're suffering with you. But
Hmm.
y'all are deeply impacted because he didn't keep his end of the bargain. He talked a good game, but he kept his promise on Project 2025. And as much as he tried to distance himself away from it, we peeped game. We knew what you would do. You flip flop. First you're for IVF and abortion rights. Now you're not for it. Now you want to monitor women are going to be forced to carry these pregnancies full term.
But here's the funny
So
thing. He was never a snake in the grass. And that's what makes me mad. This man was not a snake in the grass. Maybe his first term, yes. But y'all knew what we were dealing with after that. Through not even halfway through his presidency, we knew what we was dealing with. So that man was not a snake in the grass. That man was a snake on the pavement. And I'd be doggone if y'all still went over there and played with him.
and JD Vance is another one everyone needs to watch out for too.
Absolutely.
Elon Musk is very nefarious. He's more
Oh, he's
nefarious
dangerous
than
too.
JD Vance.
Absolutely. He is
Very dangerous.
extremely dangerous. He's a billionaire with a chip on his shoulder. He is extremely dangerous.
And he came from South Africa apartheid, not just him, but Peter Thiel as well too. So these are the ones, the billionaires and the millionaires. We need those ones that I just named. Cash Patel is another one you need to watch out for. The whole cabinet, be vigilant of all of them and what they're doing because they're
So
going to
let me
follow
ask you
through
about
with his
the
agenda.
the X platform, formerly known as Twitter. I still call it Twitter. um, do you do you support that platform, knowing now that who is the owner of it? Do you frequent it? Do you have a profile on it? How do you feel about that platform?
I've been deactivated.
Okay.
Been deactivated after I seen the slur, this slew of right wing Russian propaganda during the election season that was to hurt Kamala Harris. That
Hmm.
was not even true. And then to see other people repost these doctored images of her, he used that platform to help him win this election.
Mm,
So after that,
absolutely.
I I I, I totally deactivated my page, and a lot of people are on Blue Sky now. So I'd say go to Blue Sky. Uh, Fan base is a good platform as well too, black owned.
Okay.
So the 28th, we need to be supporting economic black owned businesses. Do
Okay.
not buy from any Walmart, Target, any of these stores that have rolled back on their DEI policies. McDonald's is another one, Ford is another one, and it's an app that you guys all can go to called Goods Unite Us. And you put in the brand, store, whatever, and it will tell you who they donated to politically. So
Okay.
if they donate it to Republicans, you don't buy from them. But if they donate it to Democrats, like you can shop at TJ Maxx all day, which is one of my favorite
Okay.
stores to shop at.
And you
They
said
typically
Goods
donate.
United.
Yes, Goods Unite
Fantastic.
Us. And they will tell you who donated to who politically. Lowe's is one of the stores. Walmart, of course.
Yes.
Amazon, of
Oh,
course. Quid
which is
pro quo.
so funny for to me that Amazon, because as you know, probably more so than I do, the whole contingent, the whole issue, that was a whole, there was a whole, I won't even say that it was there was, I think it's safe to say that it's straight up beef. There was straight up beef between Bezos and Musk and Trump. So for him to go and support underneath the table, like you being sneaky, to me that just, I'm flabbergasted because
And
truthfully,
Jeff Bezos also is in charge of the Washington Post. So I knew right then and
mm-hmm,
there when they said this is where democracy dies in darkness, it was dying in broad
yeah,
daylight. They
yeah,
didn't want to endorse
yeah.
neither
When the
political
Washington
candidate,
Post pulled
and
their
they chose
endorsement,
to
I
fold
knew.
it.
I knew what was happening when Washington Post at the last minute pulled their endorsement for Kamala. I knew that the BS was. I was like, oh, okay, so here it goes. All right, so it has begun.
And when Time magazine put this man on the front cover as the person of the year, I went back and I looked at the pattern. They had Hitler on the cover, and he idolizes Hitler. So if you go back and because I was watching documentaries on how fascism ended and how Hitler was defeated and how Mussolini and Stalin and all of these dictators ended fascism. You know, how the people had to fight against them to literally claim their freedom back, claim
Mhm.
their rights back, claim their liberty back. And now
Yes.
we are having that stripped away from us. As far as the Constitution, as Brandon said, yes, some things need to be reworded. But at the same time, what they're going to try to do is rewrite
Hmm.
it to the point where it is fall in line, support
Hmm.
white
Yeah.
supremacy. This is what we
Our
want.
Constitution.
I
Yeah.
refuse
Yeah. Yeah.
to.
Well, what do you think he meant by "Make America Great Again"? You thought what did people think? Did people think that that was just a quote? What do you "Make America Great Again"? How? Back to when? Where are you trying to take it back to? Make America great again. So in your mind, when was America great? Just drop a year, because that will let me know what you're trying to do. That, because I don't think people really understood his song. Make America Great Again. Let's make America great again. Think about that. You trying to take us back to plantation days? Make America great again?
We're talking Jim Crow because some of these
We're
policies rolling
talking
back
Jim
on
Crow.
education,
We're talking
because
Jim Crow, girl.
you're rolling back on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. You know how difficult it was for Black people to get into colleges, to get jobs. You rolled back the Equal Rights Act of 1965, signed by Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yeah, no,
And you
because he wants us to have our black jobs. He wants us to have black jobs, aka low paying, underqualified jobs, because that's what we equate to. Black. These are our black jobs. The ones that underpay, the ones that have zero qualifications, the ones that whatever he deems is, you beneath him work.
and to the
Yeah.
ones that voted for this, the farmers, I'm starting to see y'all cry too because
Oh,
y'all voted for this. The
oh,
farmers,
yeah. The
they go
farmers,
seize
they gonna
y'all's
see it.
farms and properties.
Hmm. They'll see. They'll see. They'll see. Absolutely, they'll see. And and the sad part about it is that it doesn't bring me joy to go. You know what? Y'all are gonna find out. You know, effed around and now you don't found out. I am in a position where I am blessed to be in a position where not if, but when things start getting rough, um, I won't feel it as much as other people may. I know that I am blessed to be in a position where I know when I go to bed at night, I'll have food in my stomach and I'll
Yeah.
be under a cover with a pillow underneath a roof. I know that. There are people that don't, that, there are people that this just wasn't, this is a tough pill to swallow.
And they don't have no choice because even being homeless is a crime too.
And now being homeless is oh my God, I'm so glad. Being homeless now is a crime. Oh, you can't, they can't sleep outside in public places anymore. It's like, well, are you going to provide them a hotel room? Where are they supposed to sleep? Are they supposed to stand up all day and all night? And like, I'm trying to figure out what this, don't give problems out without providing solutions.
And
So
she
if,
said that he likes to run on a problem than rather than fix the problem.
yeah,
When he was asked what they was going to do with health care, what you want to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, you want to get rid of Medicaid. They're now trying to cut Medicaid.
mm-hmm,
She said, "What is your plan to replace it?" We
yes,
all know this orange motherfucker sat up here and said, "I got a concept of a plan." That's
yeah, best,
not going to save somebody's life.
a
A
concept.
71-year-old a 71-year-old woman was just pulled off of oxygen because of his freeze funding. You literally are trying to poison and kill us. A concept of a plan is not going to save my life if I need oxygen or life-saving care and
Let me
neither
ask
is
you a
your
question.
supporters.
What is your view on Mr. Luigi? How do you feel about him?
I think we need another Luigi right now.
Okay,
I think
I
Adrian
listen.
expressing
I
them
didn't
said it
want
very,
to.
very best.
I didn't want to be that person, but I'm that person. And in my mind, I'm like, because you brought it up when you brought up healthcare. I'm like, hmm. So I want to see where you're going with that. How do we feel? And not just for her, for those who how do we feel about Luigi? do we need another Luigi? I stand by Luigi, and I don't promote murder. Here, let me go ahead and preface that. I do not encourage incite violence. I am not one to say let's go murder. Hey, I'm against capital punishment. I feel like the death penalty is hypocrisy.
Oh,
I'm totally against it.
he loves that. He's going to keep that. Biden tried to stop him from putting death sentences on innocent people from being executed. He brought it back.
Well,
You pardoned 1,600 insurrectionists. And now these people are going to be, as Steve Bannon said, performing at the Kennedy Center.
he knew what he was doing. He knows exactly what he was doing. And
And
we know
some
what
of
he's
them
doing
don't wind
too.
up getting locked back up. Some of them don't wind up uh, losing their life. One of them lost their life.
I don't, and here's the thing, at what point do we, because how do you stop a president? How do you stop him? Because things like Congress isn't really, I feel like all that smoke and mirrors, like you said, smoke and mirrors, it's a shit show to me. They had no intentions
Democrats
on
in there are pushing, yeah, the Democrats in there are pushing back. You got people on the front lines like, I love her, Jasmine Crockett. You're seeing Ayanna Presley. You're seeing AOC. You're seeing Maxwell Frost, Robert Garcia, and so many others push back. And as far as bipartisanship, y'all know I love Hakeem Jeffries. I think he is fine with his little green eyes, but that's a whole nother he is fine, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, he is fine. But they're not interested in bipartisanship, Hakeem. They're not.
Mm.
And the person who is the tiebreaker is JD Vance.
Oh,
So if they
well,
vote, because it's got to be what, 50-50, right?
mm-hmm.
In the House, Senate, wherever. 49 Democrats voted not to confirm some of these appointments in the cabinet. And you have Republicans that will still go right along and push them through. So they have bent the knee to Donald Trump. As it pertains to fascism, it is a
Because
book from
nobody wants to be
Timothy
on this,
Snyder.
no one wants to be on this shit list. Nobody wants to be on this man's personal shit list. So at the same time, it's like, get a
And they want
backbone.
to be able to primary. Primaries are coming up. And there's some seats up for re-election and grabs. So Dems, here's your chance. to redeem yourself, to come back stronger, because people feel as though you didn't do enough for them. My party, the Democratic Party, you got to
You got
come harder. And
to
I
come
think that
harder.
having people like Jasmine Crockett on the front line, having these crazy ass
And
white
she can't
people running around
carry
in
all that weight
circles.
by herself. She can't do it by herself. She can't, and she putting up a hell of a fight. Crockett is putting up, she is putting up a hell of a fight, but Homegirl cannot do it by herself. She cannot.
You got Angela also Brooks, you got Lisa Blunt Rochester, all of them that are back there backing her, that are on the front lines. For
Mm-hmm.
my city, it's Justin Bamberg, it's Brad Hutto. But we need y'all to show up and show out for these right
Mm-hmm.
here. Because now they're talking about giving this man a third term, and that's not off the table.
No, it's
That
not.
could potentially happen. Dictators rule forever. He said
They
he's
rule
vowed to be
forever.
dictator on day one. No, it's not just for that. 30 days in your presidency, you have already taken a wrecking ball to our terms, our freedoms, our liberties.
And people
Now
think it's
there's
a
term
joke.
limits on
They
even
think it's a
when you
joke.
travel to other countries. To people who want to travel to other countries, you got to prove that you're from the United States. All of this BS. This is
This,
what you voted for.
this is what they
So,
voted
black
for.
people, we are not coming to save you. We are
At
going to be
all.
resting
Why should
comfortably.
we? Why?
They said we need to get our head out of our asses. By gosh, God damn it, you need to suck it up and come and help us. No, we're not coming to help you. We're not. We tried to help you. No, the time to come together was November 5th.
No, and like you said, in the early elections.
But y'all
Yep.
went in these voting booths and y'all voted for this fascist.
They know what they did. So now they got. Now we're in the thick of it, and we got to make the best of it. I don't even know how you plan for this. Like, how do you plan for what's to come? Because who the hell knows what next? Literally,
What's
what
next?
next?
What's next is, of course, mass firing, more plane crashes. You're going to see Kash Patel go after anyone who he deems a political enemy, the same way they would in other countries. And Putin has an enemies list as well too. And notice how in an election in Russia, Putin would always win that
Yeah,
election. The other
because
political
they
candidate
die.
would not.
Yeah, because
He
they
has
would
already called
die. He.
himself a king. Our
Yeah.
complacency be our downfall. Let me
Yep.
tell you something.
Yes,
That
it
there
will.
is only one king that I worship,
He,
and that
he
is
sit
God.
high and look low.
This man is not a god. He is not a deity. He is a coward.
That's what he is. Just a man, a small man. That is what he is. I don't understand. I guess is it is it a far stretch? Is it a far stretch to say that we're in a time where is it a far stretch to say that we're in a time where people can start almost having crosses burned in their front yard again?
Oh yeah, that's another thing they want to bring back. White Christian nationality. White Christian nationalism is on the rise. And you need to do this to be pure. If it's not white and male, it's not pure. But anything
Because where do we draw the
other
line?
than,
Where do we
yeah,
draw the
church
line? Where do we
and
say,
state need to be separate.
yeah? Because what? How do where? My thing is, where do we draw the line? Where do we say this is gone too far, and we're not doing the shit show anymore? We're not doing the smoke and mirrors. We're literally going to convict this man. There was a law enforcement officer that lost her life in that insurrection. A law enforcement
And
officer
he called it a
lost
day of what, y'all? A day of
a
love.
day of love. There was a law enforcement officer that lost her life that day. Somebody needs to be held accountable. A life was lost, it was taken.
And you
Yet,
try to scrub it off of the White House website and stuff as if it didn't happen. We seen it happen with our own two eyes. There was a what you call it out there talking about hang Mike Pence, your vice president, then because he did the right thing.
mm-hmm.
They smeared shit and urine all over the
Yeah.
place. So
Oh yeah, attack
you people
Nancy's
over
husband.
there
Attacked Nancy's husband. Oh, just about killed him. Almost
and made
killed
a joke
him
about it.
and made a
He
joke
doesn't care about
about it.
disabled people. He doesn't care about disabled people because now that's what they're trying to target. This
No,
bill 504
you don't care
to
about. He called a whole
target
country.
disabled children,
He called a whole country a country of rapists. He called every man
Mexican,
in Mexico a rapist.
and to the
What?
Latinos that voted for him as well
Shame
too. You
on
put your
you.
family in this
Yeah.
position. They're being deported out of this country.
Mhm, mhm.
It did not have to be this way. You had a better choice in the election, and this is what you voted for. You voted for fascism. The tyranny is not going to stop. Every day it is going to be a new report coming out from this administration.
Well, I'm a firm believer that a lot of them don't want it to stop, though. See, I'm starting to think
Oh,
that because there's no way
yeah.
that people in their right minds are are voting for this man knowing or thinking that what he's doing is correct. No, y'all are full of just as much hatred as this man is.
You didn't want to, and my mother said this, you didn't want to vote for a black woman, a
Mm.
well qualified black woman. Kamala Harris's
Overqualified,
crime,
probably.
Kamala Harris's crime was being black and being a woman, and y'all
Mm-hmm.
didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
You said we already had Obama in the White House. That's one. That's enough. We're not going for this. We know his policies. Some of y'all said we don't know her policies. She laid it right out there for you, plain and simple. $25,000 for first-time homeowners. Now, how are y'all gonna pay your rent and stuff now? Your utility bills now? They ain't gonna offer you no help because now they're trying. What if a storm comes? Because now they're trying to get rid of FEMA. People's homes got destroyed because of the misinformation and the disinformation from Donald Trump and the beach blonde, bad built, butch body Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Let's have a moment of silence for that because that is never gonna get old.
So, how are y'all going to get relief and aid, especially in North Carolina, which is one of the battleground states? You're not going to get any help. And now in the North Carolina Supreme Courts, they are trying to overthrow an election that was won by a Democrat.
Yeah.
They don't like
Or
the
even Florida,
results.
where the
Yeah.
cost of living is astronomical. And I've had a actually conversation with a young female just the other day, who just recently moved down here from, I want to say maybe Pennsylvania, or it might have been like Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
somewhere in Pittsburgh. Anyway, it was. I know she came from a major city, and I asked her. I said, "Well, let me ask you a question. Are you paying here to live here more or there?" She's like, she said, to be honest with you, she said, as far as goods, the way those are taxed, things like that, gas. She was like, where I came from, yes, more expensive. She's like, but the cost of the housing, way cheaper. She said, here, housing is astronomical. She said, housing here is just insane. So, like you just touched on, now what do we do? Because there's definitely no relief here in Florida. Not, especially not when we have Mr.
The
DeSantis.
Satan, the Satan, that's what my brother King Jobs calls him, the Satan.
Let me tell you about this man right here. I think that he thinks that he is 100% truly Caucasian. I think he thinks that I don't think he realized that his last name is DeSantis. Trump don't like you either. No matter how much he might smile and cheese in your face, he don't like you or your people either.
And they'll remind you real quick, the same way that Ann Coulter reminded what's his name, that was gonna be a part of Doge,
Mm,
Vivek. She said,
mm.
I didn't vote for you because you're Indian. When I tell y'all my mouth dropped to the floor like, and I went back to drinking my water along with the 92%.
Mm, mm,
I said, yeah,
mm, mm.
they don't care about you. If you're white, you can be as white adjacent as you want to be. They don't care about you if you are not. If you're not Christian, white, male, and straight, then you or
You have no
rich and
place.
or
Yeah, you have no
rich,
place.
you have no
You have no place.
place. You're not welcomed in the Billionaire Boys Club or the Tech Bros or the Oligarch Bros Club.
Hmm. Hmm. Because explain to me, I would like for them to articulate to me, make it make sense. How is it that cis white males or men in any or in men period have a say in what a woman does with her body? I
And then y'all are calling me. Go
cannot
ahead,
wrap my
go ahead.
mind around that. I feel like men in that conversation should not even there's no correlation. That should not even exist within the same stratosphere. Because how do we as men, how do I as a man, I identify as a gay male, but I identify as a male. How is it that I have any say so in what my mother or any female on the face of this planet should be able to do with her body? It makes no sense to me. It makes
But
no
y'all
sense to me.
know they're trying to put a bill through the floor, which is kind of crazy. That kind of has a little bit of these white men on edge, talking about the right to erect act or something. If they do something, if they get a woman pregnant, they're going to penalize. They're going to punish men for it. So I mean, I don't know, but
Mm.
yeah, how does it feel to have y'all's rights taken from you? Because down here in South Carolina, a woman was arrested and was facing up to a 22-year
Oh
prison sentence. Her
my
name was
goodness.
Amari Marsh, and she miscarried. She was a college student, and the judge tossed that case. Thank God he did. But this
Because she
woman
miscarried.
is in the red state of South Carolina. That's another thing, ladies. They don't want you. You better not miscarry. You better not miscarry. Amber Nicole Thurman from
So now
Georgia.
that's even more
And
stress on the woman's body during her pregnancy because now she's stressing now to hope that she it's already something that's in the back of every woman's mind when they're pregnant anyway. God, please just let me carry this pregnancy to term for those who are trying to start a family. So now you're putting that added additional stress on them of I better not miscarry because I could potentially be facing criminal charges.
this is a dystopian, and Michael Cohen, who worked with Donald Trump, said this is a dystopian Gilead. You want to be, we're talking Handmaid's Tales.
Yeah, I would say
And
this is like Handmaid's Tale. Like this is scary.
I'm surprised we haven't started putting on the red cloaks and the white hats yet.
No, for real, for real. Now that like literally as I'm having this conversation with you and it's sinking in, it's like I might need to expedite my passport. like we might need to really start considering another home. This is crazy.
And I don't even think they'll welcome us in other countries, but it's not an option. I mean, it's an option that can be on the table. We definitely can look into that. To anybody who's looking to do
Well,
that, there are
I have
places
dual
where you can go.
citizenship somewhere. I have
Yes.
dual citizenship to Germany. So if push comes to shove.
And uh, another thing, as it pertains to a woman having her rights, you want to lock up women because they miscarry. So the man can tell a woman what she can do with her body. But if the shoe was on the other foot and we were telling men what they can do with their bodies, and that's a question that Kamala Harris asked one of the white men on the floor, and they literally they couldn't give an answer. She said, "Can you think of any laws that allow the government to govern what a man does with his bodies?" And this is what this fool said. He said, end quote. He said, "There's healthcare laws, there's healthcare policies. Yes, yes, but can you think of any laws in them
That
that say a woman can tell a man what to do with their
with their
body?"
bodies. Because
They couldn't even answer
if we
the
keep it,
question because there's not.
there's not. There's not. Because just, and I don't think we're all the way there yet. We just got it to where society is not shaming rape victims anymore. Because it used to be a point where a woman couldn't even, if a woman couldn't even go and say, hey, I was sexually assaulted because, hey, if her skirt was just a little too short, well, she was asking for it.
Oh yeah,
I wish you said look how short her skirt was. Did you see how small her shirt was? Oh, she had her belly button showing. She was asking for it.
gaslighting,
Yeah, she was
gaslighting.
asking for it.
These are the times that we're in right now. So the dismantling of this, and our girl Hope Giselle just posted a video just a minute ago, and a police officer tried to arrest her for using the women's bathroom. So the issue is more than just the price of eggs and groceries. You made trans people the target of
Oh
your
yeah.
attacks. You
Oh
made
yeah.
immigrants the targets of your attacks. Haitian Americans. I'm not even going to repeat the dumb shit that he said on stage at the debate.
I'm
because it's not
There for
true.
those trans that are serving in our armed forces that have
Oh yeah,
made
women, they
outstanding
want to.
careers for themselves. Outstanding
Pete,
careers for themselves.
Pete Hegseth want to roll back trans entering the military, want to roll back women serving in the military. You want to scrub women who served in the military off of the site. That's some of Pete Hegseth doing. The last thing that the thing that Pete Hegseth needs to worry about right now is, can I keep my hands off of a bottle of scotch and not trans women serving in the military?
So that part, especially if you've never served in the military. How dare you say who can and cannot serve and you've never put on a pair of boots for that military? To me, that is asinine as well. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Anybody can serve. And who are you to tell somebody that they can't serve, they can't do this, they can't go and fight and die for this country? You don't have that right. You are a Fox News host.
But you can't tell them. You can't tell them much. You can't. It's privilege has gone to a whole different level. And let me and since we're talking about this, let me go ahead and bring this up. And I think maybe because I was in my younger age, obviously I was obviously naive, so I didn't see a lot of things as I do now. But and people ask me, they're like, "Really?" When I tell them, they, so I was raised. I moved to Florida when I was 13, but I was raised in Virginia. I would come here all the time though, for because most of my family's here, so I would come for holidays, all the major holidays. I was here. Typical. I was here for the summers, things like that. But I was raised in Virginia, and when I moved to Florida when I was 13 years old, I tell people this all the time. I always knew that I was an African. I always knew I was a black boy. I always knew I was a brown boy. I knew that I had a melanated skin. I knew this clearly. I never truly understood what it meant for me to be black or noticed, put so much emphasis on the color of my skin until I moved to Florida. And it could be where I'm from in Virginia. We call it DMV. So I was 30 minutes from DC, 30 minutes from Maryland. I was right there in the hub
And
of
then
it.
that
So
Virginia, yeah.
in that part of Virginia, so it's all walks of life in that area because there's a lot of military installations. I told you I was raised a military brat. I lived in Hawaii for 3 years, so I'm used to all walks of life. At a young age, I was not just introduced to this one set of people where I felt comfortable in, and then everyone outside of my race was the enemy. It was never like that for me. Um, when I moved to Florida, though, I realized what the difference was between me and Johnny next to me in class. I noticed, I realized, oh, okay, I see the difference here. I see this. And that's when, um, it still didn't change the way I viewed other people or how I treated them, but it certainly made me walk a little different, act a little different, and made me a whole lot more vigilant. Because as a kid, that is hard. First of all, I never really felt like I belonged in any real space. Um, I was too white to really hang around the black people. I'm black, so what I'm saying, and they're gonna make sure I always remember that. So it's like I don't really fit in with the Caucasian people. Like I don't want to be the token black guy everywhere we go. But like I
Right.
said, I was too white to really be accepted by my people. Um, I was gay enough to have a bunch of girlfriends, but then as we're growing up, my girlfriends are getting actual boyfriends. So it's like, hey, like hanging out, like what I'm saying. The whole uh relationship kind of changes. But then I'm too gay to hang out with the fellas. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Right.
I never really quite felt like I belonged in a set space. Um, except for those who are in the industry with me, and we can talk about those type of things. But that all leads down to when I came here, it was a big culture shock. Um, and it does make you kind of, it forces you to to go back into history and want you to find out what you come from and the things that have been buried within our history books or not even printed within our history books. Um, because of that one singular, well, it wasn't really a singular situation, but because of that feeling. And I think I believe Maya Angelou has a quote, and I don't wanna mess up this quote, but I believe it's along the lines of people will forget what you did, people will forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And I think that so many of those situations took place here when I moved here, to where it kind of forced me to give up pieces of myself that I particularly liked. you know? Um I like those pieces of myself that I was forced to give away or give up because they're just not, it's to be that individual in the place that we are now, it's not safe. I feel like. I feel like it's just not safe. And that's sad. That's sad. That is very, very, very sad. But you have people that relish in that type of environment. They relish in that type of energy. Um, I mean, God bless them. That's all I can say.
You continue to walk in your truth and be your authentic self. You are beautiful. You are talented.
Thank you. I
You are
appreciate that.
amazing.
I
And I'm
appreciate that.
glad to be having this chat with you. And
Absolutely. I was so honored. I was like, you want to talk to me? Absolutely.
and these are things that need to be said because during these times, Black queer people are under attack.
Oh yeah.
Your role, and what got me was Stonewall. How are you going to take the T out of Stonewall and erase the legacy of Marsha P. Johnson?
They found a way to do it. And this fight that we're in, because make no mistake, we are in a fight. We are in a knock 'em out, drag 'em out fight. This fight, to me, I want to know, what does it even look like when, or if this battle is a successful one for us. By the time we're done fighting tooth and nail, Stevie, I'm talking about, because it's going to be a battle. We're going to fight. What does success even look like at that point? Is it do we do are is it going to be to where we can even still count it as a win after
Right.
all the losses that we're going to take? You know, it's one of those cases where when the person gets sentenced to life in prison, and it's like, but there's no winners in this case, kind of thing. Like, when we're done fighting this fight, and we can wave our victory flag, what does that look like for us after all of after it's all said and done? That's what scares me. That's is what scares me, because I have no doubt, and this is coming from the heart. I have no doubt that we will prevail, some way
We
or
will.
another. We will prevail. Time and time again, we've done so. History has said it. We will prevail. But what does this fight look like when it's over? Who's going to be left standing? And that's what scares me. That's
I
the
can tell
scary
you
part.
who's going to be left standing. It's going to be us Black people because we've always had to survive by not by choice, but by force. From
Mm-hmm.
slavery to the civil rights movement, all of these things that we have fought so long for, tooth and nail, are now being stripped away from us. For us to be able to have equal jobs, equal opportunities, the same way that they have, is now being taken from us.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's time
And
for
we fought
us to
years
move,
for it.
Black people, it's time for us to move. But right now, we rest comfortably. They ain't done suffering yet.
Yeah, no, because and this is not the time to be complacent. This is not the time to be complacent and be content. There's nothing to be content about. We should be in an uproar. We should be mad as hell.
Exactly, Chrissy. We've always had to be resilient. We've always had to bounce back. We've always had to come back stronger. That's Black people.
Yeah.
And this too, this here, we're seeing it play out, but we told them, we warned them this was coming. This man was going to do this.
And he said what he was going to do. Let's go ahead and rewind that too. The man did say that. He said just what he was going to do. He
And
said
kept his
what he was
promise.
going to do.
He
And I be damned if he did just that. And what did you say? First 30 days in office, and he was already with the wrecking ball, tearing shit up. Because he meant
him
just what he said.
Elon and JD Vance, let's not forget, wrote that foreword to Project 2025. So there's no way that you can deny that you don't know what this is. And then seen a video on TikTok where you were speaking at an event for the Heritage Foundation. And my God, how ironic is it that the founder of Project 2025, Russ Vought, gets confirmed?
Mm.
The Heritage Foundation. And he's just as dangerous too. So Trump,
Imagine
you
that.
you, you got some people you can't cross. You know not to cross your daddy, Elon or Putin,
Oh, you better not. I
because you
dare
might
not speak out.
mysteriously fall out of a
No,
window or get into
no,
a freak car
seriously.
accident.
And that is the reality of it. And I think people are not thinking on that level like you are, but that really is the reality of it. You have people that have access to unlimited funds, that have a chip on their shoulder, and they are not going to allow you to derail what they have going on. You're absolutely correct. There's not a person that I know that has crossed Putin and has survived it. They're not going to do it. You have reporters that have reported against Putin that were crazy enough to stay within the country and have died. Mysterious poisonings, things like that. And now you have Elon Musk, who, if you even speak out against him on a platform where we're in America and we are protected by the freedom of speech, we are in a country now where you can say I don't like the United States of America. We are fortunate enough to live in a country where you can speak out against your own country and not have your head on the chopping block. Try that somewhere else. Literal
Oh yeah,
chopping block.
it's so many dictators and world leaders in this country. Y'all remember Gaddafi, the story of Gaddafi, who was a dictator, and then Hillary Clinton got that news that he, somehow I can't say it here, but
Mm,
if you know, you know.
mm.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton was celebrating and rejoicing. I got a feeling that Simpsons episode that Deshaun sent me with Mr. Orange Man could come to fruition sooner than never.
Send that to me, by the way.
The picture that we all seen that went viral. So
So,
if
yeah, that's the world we live in. You know, what would you say for someone who are not in the shoes of Kamala Harris, um, that are not in the same shoes as all these people that have the pitchforks and the torches that are ready to head this fight.
yeah.
For those who are in a smaller capacity, what would you advise? What are the things that we should start doing to advocate to just to get our toe in the fight? If all we can afford to do is put our toe into the fight, what are the things that we can do to start?
Well, I would tell people and I would advise people to contact your representatives. That
Mhm.
share that number and that information. Start there. Start at state. It starts at state, local, and federal elections. So you need to
Okay.
be pressing these congressmen out here, these Republicans ones. Definitely keep. I'm not taking my foot off of their neck. That's real. Cause we got Lindsey Graham down here who was Donald Trump's golf buddy. They
Hmm.
good buddies.
Yeah, they're good buddy
So I
buddies.
yeah, Nat, and then you got homegirl Nancy Mace that told our girl Jasmine Crockett to come outside. That's one thing you don't tell a black woman. Oh, say less, cause we honey, like Foxy said on Beyond Scared Straight, black women, we was waiting on you at the door when you
Yeah, tell
told
us,
our girls to
come
come outside.
outside. Don't meet me there. Don't beat me there, girl. Meet me, or what she said? Don't meet me there. Beat me there.
We can gladly take our earrings off and give you the
Yeah, that's one
business, Nancy.
thing you don't tell them is come outside because they coming. And they outside for you pull up.
You could be needing that arm sling By the time all 92% of us are done whooping your
Yeah,
ass.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, there was a time where so funny. There was a time, and I know you're well aware of this time, where we thought the absolute bottom of the barrel that we can get was George W. Bush.
Bush didn't even want to shake his hand. Did y'all see that?
Oh, we thought Bush didn't even want. Bush had wanted no parts of it, and that is what. That's why I brought that up because I remember that there was a point where we thought that George W. Bush was the lowest that we could get, and he showed us no, no, no. Because I'm sure we would vote him in right now if we could.
I,
If we could.
shoot, if that was a choice, we take Bush over him. Bush is not he's a war criminal, but he's not a fascist.
He's not a fascist. He's not a dictator. He is a Republican, yes, but that was back when we got along with Republicans. It wasn't. Well, here's the thing: Trump isn't even a Republican. He's MAGA. There's a difference. There is a difference. So now you have you have Democrats, you have your Republicans, and then you have MAGA, and, and those are people that don't even really truly associate with. They don't have the same exact views. It's not the same thing. MAGA is an extremist version of Republicans, and they are dangerous. That is a party that needs to be dismantled
They
immediately because we're not
have to break the
talking
code.
about. Yeah, it's a cult. We're not. You allowed a cult, a racist cult, to infiltrate Congress, to infiltrate our government, and we can. Oh, I mean, they've been infiltrated that, but what I'm saying is we're at a point where this is dangerous because we're not just referring to dangerous as what can be done as far as health care and what you're saying. We're talking about national security dangerous.
I mean,
This
you got
man
Tulsi
took
Gabbard. He
classified
was a
documents out of the White House and took it to his personal home
in his
and here in.
gold toilet in Mar-a-Lago.
Why is this man not behind a set of bars? Why? Because there's not a person in this world. What if I would have got caught with classified records at my home? Before I could even get to the door, they would have me up under some federal unclassified prison somewhere.
And you know who's to blame for that? And he just resigned, Mitch McConnell,
As he
because y'all should
should.
have been went on ahead and impeached him, and we would not have to even be in the position that we are in right now. Y'all should
Right
have
now.
been went on ahead and impeached and convict him, but y'all are so scared of him.
They're scared of him. They're scared of him. They're scared of him. And there's a few things I can't stand, but let me tell you something. I can't stand a spineless coward. I cannot stand a coward. I cannot stand a coward.
And you
I don't bite my
don't cower
tongue
in
because
fear
it hurt too
to,
damn much. You know what I'm saying? To sit there and just be biting on my tongue, that makes no sense.
you don't
Like you said,
cower in fear to fascists.
they should have stopped playing games and putting on a show for the American people and did what they were supposed to do. And as you said, impeached him and went ahead and convicted him. And we would not be in the situation that we are in now.
And Merrick Garland, you're not off the hook either, because you were one of the ones right along with Mitch. Y'all didn't want to look into it. If you would have went on ahead and impeached, convicted, this man would have never been able to run again. Now they are talking about giving him a third term. And you let Steve Bannon out. His ass just got out of prison. He's got a podcast. So all of these right-wing, white conservative platforms that amplify the voices of white supremacy, like the Joe Rogans of the world and all of them, they have now amplified the
Oh,
message,
because they made
which
it
is
seem
they are
like
the
it's okay
enemy.
now. The message is it's okay to be like this now. It's okay. It's okay to act out. It's okay to pick up your firearm and go shoot you a blackie out there. It's okay. It's
And what
fine.
did one of them insurrectionists say when he first got out? Oh, I'm going to go and get me some firearms.
They go, yeah, yeah, because now they've made that okay to come out your door and to harass a black man or woman and shoot them with no consequence. Oh, I was in fear for my life. You started it, you're armed, you're the aggressor. But because I raised my voice now it's the issue. Now I'm the dangerous black man. But they knew what they were doing. They know why do you Florida has one of the highest gun violences. Why is it that why is it that Florida passed a law now to where you can openly carry? We had an issue. We already had a firearm issue when you had to have a permit. You had to have license. Now you're gonna allow these people to openly carry?
That's something Ron DeSantis is up there doing. I can guarantee you.
Of
I
course
remember
it
the
is.
store. Remember the store shooting that happened up there in Florida.
Why? Because they're banking off black people's casualties. They're banking off our deaths. They're lining their pockets off of our death. And in their eyes, hey, that's one less black person. We don't care. Let them go out and shoot
And they
each other
don't.
up. No, they won't. They're literally putting these firearms. I'm not crazy. I'm not stupid. I know some stuff. I done been some places. So I'm not crazy. All this, what ATF does and all this other stuff, there's bad apples in every group. I'm not crazy. You're putting firearms in these people's hands, in these boys, not men, these little boys' hands to go out in the streets so we can shoot each other up. That's a job y'all ain't got to do no more.
And what I to my people, I would say be vigilant, be aware, protect yourselves, and stay safe because there's going to be. It's so I can't even touch on every single name of them, but it is so many white supremacist groups in the United States of America,
Mm-hmm.
and you have Elon Musk who's basically giving them a thumbs up. That what he gave on stage was not no goddamn Roman salute.
Oh,
Because that's what Nick Fuentes, the
uh,
white supremacist that got invited to Mar-a-Lago to have lunch with Donald Trump. That's what
mm-hmm.
he said. It was a Roman salute. No, and then you posted pictures of Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden. Them motioning how I'm motioning and talking right now. You caught half of the photo, but you didn't see the whole thing.
What
So
about the
these
gentleman
white
who refused
supremacist
to shake
groups.
Kamala's hand?
Oh
Who was I forget his
yeah,
name. His name slipped my mind. You saw that, right? His
I
wife
sure
shook her hand.
did.
Yeah, I was flabbergasted. I was like, what an just not just because of the disrespect on his end, but the how juvenile,
That's the
how
disrespect black women
unprofessional.
get on a daily. Cause see, you couldn't have me up there in Congress or Senate. I'm one petty bitch.
Oh, Petty's my favorite color.
You
Petty's my
you
favorite
you
color.
you wouldn't have me up there in Congress. You would literally have to call about 5 guards to get me on up out of there. Cause I would
Oh yeah,
cause
but
some
that's
stuff.
okay because we got some sister girls up in there right now that feel just like you do. So they getting it together. They getting it together. Oh yeah,
What gets me is the audacity. You didn't want to shake this woman's hand. Your wife is being sworn in, and you didn't want to shake her hand.
yeah. The audacity. It was just juvenile. It was unprofessional. It reflected poorly on your wife. Because I'm gonna tell you something right now. I don't know if married people or people that are in these committed relationships. I don't know if they understand that what you do is a reflection of me, and what I do is a reflection of you. So you soured that moment for your wife because it's no longer the talk of, oh, she is being sworn in. That's not the narrative anymore. That's not the topic of this video or this picture anymore. Now the new narrative is, did you see how he didn't even shake Kamala's hand? So you just took from your wife. That moment you just took from her because you decided to be juvenile.
All of
And that's
these
a
white
moment she
men,
can't get back. You can't rewind that moment. That moment was there. She was sworn in. That was her night.
these white men are fragile and weak and impotent, and they feel as though they want it to be the majority, the majority of the country be white, male, Christian, fall in line. We don't want you reading these books K through 12. We're
So
going
what
to
would they
ban
do?
books.
What would they do if every black person here decided to just get up and go to another, like go back to Africa, go back to England, go back to wherever it is that they're will come? What would we all decide to go back to the motherland? What would they do then?
Oh, that's another thing. Why are you attacking South Africa? But you did that before in 2016 when you called our motherland S-hole countries. The South
Yeah.
African president over there, he said, I don't want nothing to do with this. This is your problem. And in the United States, you fix it. Why are
Yeah.
you going into South Africa? The Gulf of America? The Gulf of America. No, it's the Gulf of Mexico. And for Google, which we all use to search up almost everything, for y'all to bend the knee, you are literally giving into
Yeah.
fascism. And what is
Yeah.
one thing that Timothy Snyder put in his book on tyranny? Do not obey in advance.
This is going to be an interesting couple of years. This is going to be an interesting couple of years.
And we will resist. We will continue to
Absolutely.
push back. And I'll never stop speaking up about it on my platform and encouraging other Black people to speak up, because when there's power in numbers, fascism they back down. Y'all saw how fast how he rescinded that thing on the, what was it, the federal freeze? How
Mm-hmm.
he rescinded that bill so fast. That's
Oh yeah.
because it's power in our voices.
And they weren't going for it. The people weren't going for it. They
To
weren't going
now in March,
for it.
this government shutdown is still on the table, because you got Republicans still trying to do tax breaks. You're trying to give
Yeah.
them tax breaks. He said, what did he say during the campaign season? You're rich as hell. We're going to give you a tax break. So you're willing to make people suffer without decent health care in this country so that the rich can have a tax break.
Yeah.
That should make everyone fired up right now.
That alone, that's what you're try to tell people. You're not in the right tax bracket to be for Trump to be your president. He's not for you. You don't make enough. I try to tell people that. You don't make enough. That man ain't for you. And then you
But he
sit there and
loves when
oh,
you kiss
well, he
up on
gave us
him.
those stimulus checks. First of all, that was work that Obama's administration had already done the legwork for that. Those are not, first of all, that's not money out of Trump's personal account, so he can give you shit. And then he removes the Secretary of Treasury's name to put his name on the check. No, sorry, he didn't remove it. He had his name before the Secretary of
He
Treasury's
wanted
name
his
on the
name
check.
on the back of it.
Yeah,
Talking about oh, I voted for Trump because he gave me that. No, he didn't. That was Dems in Congress. He wanted his name printed on the back of the
yeah.
check. It's an ego
It's
thing for him.
an
Because if
ego
you
thing
go
for
back and you
him.
look at the RNC, what happened on stage? The only person who should have their name written in lights should be Beyonce. That's the queen right
I
there. He had
listen, I
his name
fully endorse
printed.
that.
He had his name printed big in the background and lights. Trump
Yeah.
is a ego narcissist.
Yeah, he's
He's a
an egomaniac.
narcissist.
Yeah, he's a narcissist, and his brother even said it. They did an interview, said he's always been a narcissist too. He's a narcissist and a dangerous one at that.
Oh, and he will lie. He will lie.
Oh
And if
my
you push
goodness,
back
you already know he
on the
will.
lies, what he does, what JD Vance does, which is, why did you just fact check me? Because remember when he did a debate with Tim Walz, there was no fact checking, and we just like, what? Debates don't work like that. You got to push back so that people know the actual truth. Because what
Yeah,
they will do is they will try to put more lies out there, and Fox
absolutely.
News does a great job at that.
Oh, absolutely.
The
Oh,
same way
absolutely.
Kamala had to check Brett Baer and be like, no, that's not the clip that you showed. And then come to find out y'all did this intentionally.
Hmm. Yeah.
Here we are,
Well,
y'all,
here we
fighting
are, y'all.
fascism and authoritarianism under this clown car cabinet. And someone
If I
said it
had
earlier in
a
the
piece of
go ahead, Brandon. I'm
advice to
sorry.
give, no, you're fine. So if I had a piece of advice to give, like you said, just get ready. Just keep your head on a swivel.
Black people, most definitely keep your head on a swivel. Don't let y'all's president get y'all's asses whooped. Because if y'all think that y'all are going to go out here and harass and attack Black people out here in the world, you got another thing coming.
Cause we
Y'all
ain't
seen
having
that
it.
video of y'all's asses being chased out of Cincinnati. And I don't understand why police officers were out there protecting y'all when y'all were the antagonizers. Y'all showed up with these
You know why?
flags.
You know why? You know why they were protecting them and not when they were the antagonizers. It's ridiculous to me. I feel like no police force should even be. I feel like people that are police officers, law enforcement, shouldn't even be backing Trump. Not after
Oh,
the situation
they
that he
that's
put
another
y'all.
thing too. They effed around and they found out the ones that didn't that what is it, the head of the police chief that because everybody's supposed to what is it, back a Democratic candidate, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Firefighters union didn't come out. The Teamsters leader was at the RNC. Y'all are starting to find out now, and y'all are calling on him to do something about what you want. Not what is it? The people who survived 9/11. They are 9/11 deniers, especially what's the girl name? Laura Loomer. And y'all brought this girl. You brought this girl to a 9/11 memorial event. I'm not even going to get into the conspiracy things that she has said about 9/11. It's very dangerous. But y'all are deniers. And the goal of Republicans nowadays, this is not the traditional Republican Party where it's like, okay, we can go back to Bush and things like that. No, this is now a party of authoritarianism and
Hmm.
white supremacy.
It's where we are. It is where we are. And I wish that I just this election threw me for a loop. This particular election threw me for a loop, and I won't get too much into why, because we can go down that rabbit hole of theories or conspiracy forever. But I will say this: something does not smell right in the
Oh
water about
yeah,
this
ballot
particular
boxes was.
election.
I'm glad you mentioned that too, because ballot boxes were set on fire. Why didn't y'all look into that? And Elon
They
Musk
want to.
literally put his thumbs on the scale. $2 million, $2 million to help him win this election. He used his power and his influence, and he's done it in other countries also too. So it's going to be up to at this point. It's going to be up to the Republicans in Congress and Senate because Dems are doing what they're supposed to do, and that's push back and vote. Say, hey, we're not doing this. Even with RFK Jr., they pushed back and said we're not going. It had to take Mitch McConnell to come out and even say, hey, I'm not voting for
Yeah.
this. And guess who was the tiebreaker? I can guarantee you it was JD Vance because that's what a vice president does. The same way the Supreme Court Justice of Ketanji Brown Jackson had to get confirmed. It
Hmm.
Kamala Harris sworn her in.
I think maybe, and I want to make sure that I'm articulating this correctly. You know what? I'm not. I'm not. I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go there because I asked you how you felt about Luigi.
I already told y'all.
I did.
One
But
of
my
my
next question
colleagues
I wanted
said
to
this. It's
ask.
going to be a lot of. It's going. Let's just say it's going to be a lot of parties on the roof going on coming this administration. If you know what I mean, you
That
catch my
part.
drift.
Well, Libby,
So
yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
that Simpsons episode. If you know, you know. That's all
If
I'm
you
gonna say on that. But it's coming at the route y'all going because y'all cannot have people out here poverty stricken, suffering, begging you, asking you for help, and you're not
yeah.
giving that to them.
And you're not giving that.
You're
Just so you can make
denying
sure.
them health care.
Yeah.
You're denying them basic necessities that we as Americans we need, and you're denying that to them. So
Yeah, just so
yeah,
they can continue to have their gold plated toilet seats and stuff.
or
Things like that.
crypto, because
Or
that's his
crypto.
thing. He's crypto.
Yeah.
The coins, you want to put more gold coins out there.
Hmm.
And he's using your taxpayers' dollars to go to where? To Daytona, NASCAR,
Yeah. Oh,
to
yeah,
play
all kinds of
golf.
stuff. Or what about the or or the one person who uses taxpayers' money to take their whole family to Mexico when there's a blizzard and your constituents are stuck in Texas,
Ted Cruz.
freezing.
Oh, the one that was phone banking for him. Yeah, I got that photo
Mm,
too.
yeah, yeah. You take your whole family on a vacation in New Mexico while your constituents are stuck in the thick of it, pipes bursting, freezing, stuck. Like what?
I
You
wanted
left.
Colin
You leave
Allred
your
to win.
constituents to suffer though. Huh.
And and the way Colin Allred chewed him up on that stage, you didn't have no comeback because you knew that everything that he was saying was right. You went to go to Mexico and you left the American people stranded.
Yeah, that's just what he
And the
did.
same way Trump, remember Trumpchella, when the election was going on, where he was supposed to be out there where they have Coachella, you
Mm-hmm.
left your supporters out there, and the bus was
Mm-hmm.
not coming back.
You saying the bus was not coming back.
It was not coming back because there was supposed to be a certain number of the hours of transportation was supposed to go on. I wonder
Mm-hmm.
how his supporters got back home to where they were. He
That
does
took a.
not care about you.
He don't,
Republicans do not care about you.
and he showed that. And I'll be talking. If a person tell, and I'll continue to say this: when a person shows you or tells you who they are, God damn it, believe them. I've had to learn that lesson the hard way in personal relationships and intimate relationships. I've had to learn that lesson. Brandon, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
And
The
he's not
worst
even
lie that
hiding
you can
it.
tell is the one to yourself. The worst
He's
lie that you can tell is the one to yourself.
and he's not even hiding this. He's not even
Mm-mm,
hiding his racism. It's out
mm-mm.
there for you. So
For you to see
this
it.
Black History stage Black History event that you're doing at the White House, trying to hold for, and you got Tiger Woods. You're honoring Tiger Woods. Well, I always knew he would always be on the conservative side. You got other Black conservatives. There are no prominent historical Black figures. Oh, because it might be too woke. How we're woke and we're alert to what's going on,
Mhm.
or how they word it as radical indoctrination.
Yeah. But when people use the word woke, it's like, oh, oh, they're woke. And it's like, so I am being, it's, you're using the word, the correlation between woke, you're trying to make it seem like it's like a negative connotation. And it's like, so it's a bad thing that I'm hip to what's going on, or it's a bad thing that I'm alert. It's a bad thing that I'm present in this and I have not, because after all, knowledge is what they don't want us to have.
They banning books. You don't want drag queens reading books, but let alone you want to release. I mean, it was time to release the files on JFK and all of this. I get it, but how about you release those Epstein files?
Oh, oh, Epstein. that's a
Can we talk about that,
whole
Donald?
that's a whole separate animal right there.
Can we talk about those Epstein files, please? I would love to see them since we're digging into people's background.
Background.
And you didn't like the poster, the Iowa poster, that woman who did that poll and gave Kamala more and said, "Hey, she can win." You went after her, since you went started digging into her files. So why don't you give us those Epstein files and those tapes while you're at it? We've seen some of the tapes out here
I'm
floating
about like
around.
Hillary. Can we go back into the taxes? Can we dig some more back into his taxes?
Oh yeah,
I
that's
wanted
another
that
thing.
because
We
he
got
had me at the tax history. I was done. I was done. When that was released, I was too through. I was like, what? Is this happening?
and
I
you
was
ducking and
done.
dodging and hiding your tax returns and
Mm.
things. We
Come
know
to
what's
find out
going
you
on.
ain't paying nothing. How you haven't been, how a pair of cuffs ain't been slapped on your wrist yet, but prior to your first mugshot, they should have been booked you. Well
That's Mitch
before
McConnell's
president
fault.
was even in your mindset, they should have been booked you based off your tax history.
And
So,
it's now you want to give tax breaks to the ultra wealthy, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all of these out here.
mhm,
They don't need it. They're already wealthy.
mhm.
If you want to
But it's
give
to
a tax break to someone,
maintain.
give it to
Yeah,
the American people. But you're also goddamn selfish. You think about nobody but yourselves.
yeah. And that bleeds into other, and that's a good segue because that bleeds into other industries. That type of greed, what's taking place, that bleeds into other industries. That bleeds into the film industry, and that bleeds into every industry. But I can speak on film because that's where I am at, and that bleeds into the film industry as well, the entertainment industry. It is a struggle. It is a struggle, and it's always been a struggle. This has always been a struggle to break into this industry. It is now a struggle to break into this industry and maintain a place within this industry just to pay your bills. Not to be balling out of control like you're an A-lister somewhere, but just to be able to have your basic essentials and bills paid. And I don't I'm just eager to see how it's going to turn out. I'm eager
Yeah.
to see how this is going to turn out.
So
We'll see.
we're gonna keep going further. Before we wrap this convo, Fashion Dolls, I told Brandon that we were gonna get into some Black History trivia.
Let me tell you, she is getting ready to make me look so crazy. But listen, I'm gonna let y'all know right now. Don't judge me. Let's just go ahead and put that out there. Do not judge me.
All right,
Let's do
and
this.
audience, you chime in too. All right, okay,
Yeah, give me some help, y'all. Don't play with me.
let's go. Okay, who broke the MLB color barrier in 1947 and became the first Black player in modern Major League Baseball?
Is this like a free response or do I get multiple choice?
It's one person. It's one
Okay.
person.
Okay. So, one more time. Because I have two names and I think it's one of them, but I feel like I'm going to definitely get this wrong. But there's two names that come to mind, but go for it. One more
Who
time.
broke the MLB color barrier in 1947,
Okay.
becoming the first Black player in modern Major League Baseball?
Jackie Robinson.
That is
It's either
correct.
Okay, I was like, because it's going to be Jackie Robinson or Baby. I was like, okay, Jackie Robinson. Okay, I figured that's who it was. Okay, go for it. All right.
Which African American astronaut became the first Black woman to travel in space in 1992 aboard the Space Shuttle Endeavour?
Ooh, and I'm looking at this one face, and her name is just okay. Hold on, wait a minute, wait a minute. It's coming. Hold on, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. And so, you guys, I'm not using the internet, so I got my hands right here. You guys know I'm not doing it. I'm trying my best here. Um, astronaut. That is going to be. Oh my God, get your hand. You're not thinking. I'm thinking about these engineers from Hidden Figures, not them. The astronaut, the astronaut, the astronaut. Lifeline. Yeah, lifeline,
It
somebody.
is, even the audience got quiet. They
Yeah,
stopped.
they
It's
got
Mae
quiet because they're
Jemison.
like, wait a
Mae
minute.
Jemison.
Who was it?
Mae Jemison. Dr. Mae Jemison.
Dr. May James. How did I not? See, now that's something I didn't know because that name's not even ringing a bell, so I would have got it wrong regardless.
Hmm.
Mm.
Well, we'll give you a point for that one. We'll give you a
Okay,
point for that one because you had it,
I
but you
appreciate
couldn't
it.
get it. But we'll give it to you.
We'll
All
get
right.
it.
Here's the next one. Who was the first Black woman to be elected to the U.S. Congress in 1968, representing New York's 12th district?
New York's 12th District, 1968, black woman. New York's 12th District, 1968, black woman. Hold on,
And
it's
Regina
coming. It's
King
coming.
did a movie about her life to give you a hint.
1968, New York, first black woman, Congress, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be. Give me a second. It's coming. It'll come to me. I don't. No lifeline this time because I know this one. I do. It's just, it's coming. Give me a second. Let me think. 1968, New York. And then who did you say played her?
Regina King.
Sure, Shirley. Shirley Chisholm.
That's it? Yes.
Yeah! Okay. I was like, wait a minute. This is getting kind of hard. But okay.
Okay, here's the last one.
Okay.
Which Black inventor was granted the first U.S. patent by an African American in 1821 for a dry cleaning process?
1821, dry cleaning process, black inventor. 1968. 1968 or 1821? You said 1821.
1821.
Okay, dry cleaning process, black man. I think I have a name, but I'm not certain of the last name. With the first name, is that Thomas? Wait, what? Thomas Jennings.
That's it. That's it.
Okay, yay! All right, wait a minute. Is it Tom? Like, wait a minute. Okay, all right,
Okay. Here is the last one.
all
Now,
right. Let's do it.
this agricultural scientist developed over 300 products from peanuts, including dyes and plastics, to combat soil depletion in the South.
Oh, now that one. Okay, agricultural specialist who. One more time for me. Say it for me
This
one more time.
agricultural scientist developed over 300 products from peanuts, including dyes, plastics, to combat soil depletion in the South.
Agricultural science. Okay, wait a minute. Agricultural scientist who invented over 300 projects. 300 things. Okay, hold on. Oh, y'all. This one's hard. Don't,
He's
don't
got
give
the
me the
name
answer
of
yet.
one of our presidents, but it's something else at the end to give you a hint.
Agricultural scientist that invented 300.
There you go, Pure Lux.
Who? Okay. George Washington Carver.
That's it.
Okay.
You got it.
I looked down and saw the GWC and I'm like, oh, okay. Thank you.
Shout outs to Pure Lux Salon. So,
Shout out to Pure Luxe Salon. You came through in a clutch.
all right, fashion dolls, that is our Black History Month trivia with Brandon Hartsfield. So, Brandon, before we let you go, what words of encouragement that you would give to our people during these times? This is such a great discussion and it needed to be had.
You know, what I would like to leave you all with is, and it's gonna be words of encouragement, but not so much for our current situation. You could take this wherever. And I always just and always like to encourage people to dream as if you'll live forever and live as if you'll die
Yes.
tomorrow. Dream as if you'll live forever and live as if you'll die tomorrow. That is what I would like to leave people with. I am um just a huge supporter of supporting other people. I think it's so important to make sure that you are always supporting other people too. You know, encourage people's dreams. We have them for a reason. Encourage them. Nurture those type of things. And just go out and live life and don't let somebody tell you that you can't do something. Don't let them tell you that you can't do something. Do it. And when they tell you you can't do it, tell them, watch me. That is what I want to leave you all with. Just do the best. Just dream as if you live forever and live as if you'll die tomorrow.
And to add on to what Brandon just said, today's final thought comes from Albert Hubbard. And Albert Hubbard says there's no failure except in no longer trying. And I want you guys to keep going, keep encouraged. And we are going to encounter a lot of obstacles within the next few coming months and days from everything. But also be vigilant and protect your mental health. And please protect your peace, your intake. We can only take in so much. In small doses, you have to
Yes.
take it in. So
Mhm.
I want you all to be vigilant, be aware, protect your peace, and have an amazing weekend. It is Friday.
Yes,
Do
please.
something fun, get out, go out with friends and family, take time off, and be gentle to yourself. And that's what I want you all to do this weekend. Now, joining
Yes.
me Monday, we have Jafet Perez. He is joining me on the show Monday. So make sure you guys tune in. And Brandon, gotta have you back on again, my love. So
Please.
where can everyone follow you?
Yes. You can follow me on Instagram at Brandon underscore Hartsfield. And speaking of hanging out with friends and family, any of you all in the Central Florida area, pass it along. I will be in Fences next month. showing at the Wayne Dench Performing Arts Center. I will be playing Mr. Gabe Maxon in Fences. It's a beautiful story. Please come out and see it. It's a 2 night show. We are working on a third night. I will be dropping links consistently all the way up until show date where you can get those tickets. Please come out and see us. We would love to have you.
All right, Fashion Dolls, there you have it. And we will see you next week. The lineup is up, and be on the lookout for the OOTD. Vote for your favorite look of the week. I love you all, and I want you guys to, again, be gentle to yourself, be patient, and take all of this information in. Take it in small doses, but make sure that you are protecting your peace as well. I love you all, and I want you guys to be safe. Take care.
Thank you for having me, Stevie.
You are so welcome, love, and we got to set something up again.
Please do. Please.
All right. Take
Bye.
care.